Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Chase. So today we're going to be talking about the crypto crash. This is going to be another one of those videos like my Trading Psychology Part 1, Portfolio Management. If you haven't seen those, go check those out. Basically, what I mean is it's going, I don't have any pre-written script. It's sort of heart to heart. And I'm just doing my best to come across with real information rather than showing you guys a spreadsheet or a slideshow or some bullshit like that, reading you guys a list of things you should be doing, because all that stuff is good in education and practice, in education, but it doesn't really, come through when it comes down to, actually practicing, executing, things of that nature. All right, so let's start from the top. Things I did well, and then we'll get into, like I said, things I didn't do so well, what I learned, etc. The purpose of this video is not to try to brag to you guys. I hope that people that follow my feed closely and my videos closely, I hope that you guys did well, because I find that a lot of the people that think, I'm an asshole or a douche or something, they're just not following my content. If you've been following my content, you know that I was taking profits constantly in these areas. Same with ETH. I literally had a video that said, I was memeing on the future of finance and saying that this is going to correct, and telling people that I'm trying to guide them to take profit at the top of video before the crash occurred. So if you have a problem with me, it's most likely because you're not absorbing my content. I'm not going to pretend that I'm always right. But this wasn't about being right. This was about seeing the greed in the market and understanding that greed and starting to take profits. I was 70% stabled by the top of 60K BTC and 4K ETH. Like I said, I started taking profits around 3 to 3.5, and then I did more from 4 to 4.5. And that's it. Okay, so like I said, it's not about trying to brag. I'm not trying to be a douche. I'm just, trying to get across to people and, help people. And the people that follow my content closely, I appreciate the DMs and everything. I'm glad you guys survived and did well and even thrived from, taking large percentages of profits towards the top. Okay, so just give me a second. I'll be drinking water on and off. Those of you who know me well, I like to drink a lot of water. All right, so, one of the biggest things, right, is being able to have a mind of your own, be the lion among sheep, things of that nature. You have to understand that pretty much all charts are the same. When you get extremely parabolic moves, there's going to be a major correction. I continued to say this over and over and over again. To myself, right? Not only on crypto Twitter, but I had to say this to myself, because you have to be very strong-minded when you're in this echo chamber of future of finance. So you have to be very, you have to have your own confidence when you're in this echo chamber and everyone's saying future of finance. Going to 8K, going to 10K, going to 100K, the flippening, all these ridiculous narratives we heard the whole entire time. And look, I'm not here to say that the bull run is over. If you've been following me, you know what I've been doing. I sold before the crash. I bought towards the low of the crash. I ended up getting a decent average. We'll talk about all that. And then I de-risked that exposure when we had our complacency bounce to 3K ETH and 40K BTC. I de-risked the majority of that, and then I added that back, last night or whatever at around 33.5. Okay, and we'll see where we go from there. And we'll talk about that towards the end too. But point being, you have to have a mind of your own in this market, because if you don't, you will get trapped in narratives. And that applies to altcoins, that applies to basically everything. And like I said, it was very difficult for me I could have just went radio silent, and I would have been fine on my own. But to, be broadcasting these thoughts to 40,000 followers, and also, stick by them myself, and, sort of hype myself up to keep on doing what I was doing, keep selling, keep selling, keep selling, keep selling, keep selling. It was difficult. So that's one of the things I did really well, was just to stay the course, stick to my original plan, and understand markets from a macro perspective. It's just, when you get these extreme bull runs, you will get extreme retracements. Okay. What else did I do well? I was very prepared in terms of exchanges and how I wanted to buy, etc. I had this all planned out. I had marked out, I'm not going to go into exact everything because that would be very difficult to do, but just to give you guys an example, I was ready to buy. I had, so from the profits that I had taken, right, the, how I was 70% stabled, I was looking to put 20% of that stable back into the market. And I may have done something like this, 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, okay, and now I'm in for 20. And I actually didn't do this with BTC, but I did do this with ETH, okay? My BTC was more like just basically 10%, right around 38. And then I'll tell you guys about, if you were following me live on Twitter, I talked about digging into my reserves, and I'll explain that. Basically, that's when things go completely awry. And if I think it's like a do or death scenario for crypto, and I understand, right? If we broke down even more, it doesn't mean crypto's dead, but in my opinion, it's do or die for any type of bullish scenario whatsoever. So when I saw ETH breaking down, below 2,000, when I saw BTC getting close towards 30,000, I have what I call like a reserve account, an emergency account, to try to get a better average entry. And that's what I did. I utilized that emergency account, and I started buying big at around 2K ETH and around 32 to 30 BTC, 32K to 30K BTC, probably somewhere around low 32s, high 31s, something like that. And that averaged my buys out very well to around 2.4K ETH and somewhere around 35K BTC. And then, like I said, I de-risked and took a lot of that exposure off when we bounced hard, very on the first day. I said it, I'm de-risking a lot here. And that was because my original plan said I was looking to hold these spot buys from 38. But I specifically said, if we break down and immediately go towards 33K, this was actually the area I had marked out. If we break down and immediately go towards 33K, then I'm looking to be getting out on a complacency bounce. And that's exactly what I did. Took about 65% off on the complacency bounce. So that was all very good. Following my plans, having funds set aside ahead of time, exchange-wise I had, and this is somewhat to protect you from yourself. If you're a very experienced trader, you may not need this. It's also to mitigate counterparty risk, because we know exchange hacks do happen, personal hacks do happen. So I like to spread my funds out as much as I possibly can. I had about 3 exchanges for spot buys. I had one exchange for that I could access leverage, and then I had my backup account on leverage as well. So I hit spot buys on all 3 accounts. That's why you saw me posting from different exchanges that day. I hit all those spot buys, and then I dug into my backup, what I call the reserves emergency account when I needed to balance out my average entry. And, if that, emergency account got liquidated or something, so be it. It's not really an amount that I'm very concerned about. It's really served as a place where I say, this is do or die. I think I was using something like 2.2x leverage or something, do or die. And I bought up ETH big towards 2K, and that really helped me average out my entry and made me turn very green on the day once we got back up above 24. And that's why I started locking in all those profits towards 29 and 3K. Okay, so that was another thing I did well. Having the exchanges all ready to go, right? Having a backup account ready to go for something that I didn't expect. And that's literally what it's there for. Sometimes you will be wrong. And even though I was right to sell these top areas and sell, in a big way, I was wrong on the 38.8 call or whatever. And I didn't expect to be wrong. But sometimes you will be wrong. And I had to bring out that do or die account, which I haven't brought that out in literally like a year or something. I had to bring out that do or die account because, in my opinion, this was do or die. That was that type of scenario. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's talk about things I didn't do so well. I had some stink bids on alts, and for some reason, I'm not sure if it was laziness or if it was just trying to spread my counterparty risk around the different exchanges, but I had my stink bids on Binance futures, and I mean, they just got shredded through. So I took about probably I think it was like a 2.5 risk reward or something stop out on like 4 alts that I had stink bids on. If I had bid them on spot, they would have been in strong profit on this complacency bounce, and I would have got rid of 65% of them or more, probably even more because they're alts. Probably would have got rid of 80% of them and held a 20% moon bag. So that definitely cut into my profit that day, was that I allowed myself to get that Binance future price so much leverage, so much liquidation, so much slippage that that really cut. It didn't cut deep, but it was a big mistake. That's the point, is that it was a big mistake that I should. It was an amateur mistake. I should have been bidding those stink bids on spot, not on futures. Okay, so if you got stink bids set or something, bid spot. That's why they're stink bids, because you're trying to get a really good price for cheap. I think one of the examples was Sol or something. I think I got, I was trying to get Sol around like 30 or something, and it just like wicked right through and went to like 24 or something low like that. And these were just levels I never, foresaw possible. So just a big mistake, a big error on my behalf. And that's coming from someone who, lived through all these other crashes as well. I'm not a true OG, right? I'm not like this area, but I got in around 2017, and I was there for, this was China FUD, but whatever. But I was there for this crash. I was there for this crash. I was there for, I think this was like the, I forget what they called it. It was some type of like China manipulation or something, and it pumped and it took the stops like right above this high. It was actually super funny, and then it retraced. I was here for this crash. Didn't do so well on this one. I mean, I was taking a lot of profits in here, but I took profits prematurely. It was like 13K, but then I did take more up here, but it was what it was. And then didn't sell the dead cat bounce. Should have sold the dead cat bounce. This crash, I was bidding a lot. Got stopped out like multiple times. This crash, I did okay. I just held, and then I ended up doing like the BitMEX trick on where 100x leverage was not getting liquidated because the price of the BitMEX price was so much different than the spot price, the mark price, that you couldn't get liquidated. It was pretty interesting. I'm not like the most intelligent when it comes to that type of stuff, but yeah, all I know, I think it was like the BootMEX who posted that. Just give me a second. Yeah, and then came this crash, and this crash I did well. So over the years you get better and better, and you learn things. And yeah, definitely the big thing, one of the biggest takeaways is, less is more when it comes to this type of stuff. Parabolic moves, it's time to take profits. Bid spot when it comes to crazy down moves. It's all about spot. It's not about leverage. It's about spot. I would have been much more profitable that day if it wasn't for those Binance futures bids. Just my laziness of not moving the funds over to spot and just setting spot bids instead. And it's not like I was using any leverage on those bids either. They were just normal run-of-the-mill bids. but for some reason I had left them on futures, and the stops got tagged, and those stops would not have got tagged on other exchanges for spot. Okay, let's see what else. All right, so we talked about what I did well, talked about what I didn't do so well, some of the mistakes I made, some of the biggest takeaways, like, sticking towards spot, things of that nature. Don't ever risk, liquidation when it comes to moves like these, because they can go a lot deeper than you think, and ETH was a great example of that. Okay, so moving forward, let's mark out just some levels here. Whoops. So my plan has been pretty simple. It was to de-risk on the big bounce. We did that. And then I was looking to rebuy 33K, front ran a little bit, got in at 33.6, 33.7, right around there. Live called that on Twitter. Just like everything I've been doing has basically been live called. Hopefully that's been helpful. The way I see this, I see bullish divergence forming at a major support, while everyone is super bearish. I'm not going to pretend that this is going to immediately pop, but I do think we could form some type of a rounded bottom situation here. And eventually, I do think we're going to run some of this liquidity to the upside, and my overall target is going to be somewhere around here, probably 47s, maybe 45 if we're really weak. But look, that doesn't matter. A lot of people really harp on the whole target thing. Oh, I need a target. You don't. You just need to layer out. You're never going to buy the bottom, and you're never going to sell the exact top. Okay, it's just not how it works. So let's just look at this, and let's look at levels and say, hey, where do we want to reduce some risk? Well, I'm going to take some profit right around 43.6. Going to probably look to take some more. Probably right in this area, 45.6. I like more profit around here. 49. Actually, probably go aim for the bottom of this block most likely, because this would probably be the main target of any super. If you're very bullish for a very strong bounce, this is probably going to be most people's main target, because we have this confluence from here, right? So support flips to resistance, and this is what begins the down move right here. So this is the major area of resistance that most people are going to want to sell. So since that's the major area that most people are going to want to sell, we're going to front run that area a bit. We're going to bring this down a tad, probably look to get out around mid 47s. Okay. So that's my plan with that. As far as ETH goes, look, I'd love a bounce towards here, but I'm not sure if we're going to get it. 31, I think it's 31.66 area. Yeah, right around here. If it wants to come up to here, sure, great. I'm selling more. And if it wants to reclaim this level, then that's awesome, and probably look to long back towards the highs. But I'm not even really talking about that. Really what it is that, when we get to this area, or if we get to this area and we clear this area, everyone will be super bullish. The bull run will be completely back on, right? But I'll be selling. I'll be selling more here. And my point is, if it flips it, then I can look for longs, no problem. But I'll definitely be taking more profits. And that's why I'm not sure if we even get to there anytime soon. Eventually, maybe. But I'll tell you what, right now I'm my ETH exposure and my alt exposure is less than it's ever been in quite a long time. I have more confidence in some type of a Bitcoin bounce. That is where I had taken all the exposure that I cut from 3K ETH and the exposure that I cut at 40K BTC from the bounce from those lows that I bought on the crash. I put that all back into BTC. I didn't put any of that back into ETH. I just think it looks weaker, and I think any type of I think also that market participants are very trapped in ETH for sure, and as well as maybe not as so much as alts, because it seems like alts just got so liquidated and everyone got destroyed on leverage that there may not be as many alt holders now, or people, on leverage alts. But ultimately, yeah, I want to get out of more ETH if we get a strong bounce. I have more confidence in BTC right now. And as you can see from the ETH BTC ratio, it's sort of like we're just bouncing on this support over and over again. I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks down, but again, I'm not shorting anything here. I'm long on BTC with those spot buys that I talked about from 33K. And yeah, we're looking for these take profit levels. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please like and retweet the tweet. It helps try to get exposure out there. Try to help people, right? Because let's be honest, there was a whole lot of personalities, a whole lot of influencers and whatnot that just buy. Here comes 5K. Here comes this. Let's try to spread some rational information rather than this bullish nonsense that people spew day in and day out. It doesn't help people. It wrecks people. And I appreciate, all the DMs I got from the people who have helped. And, hey, we sold the top together. Was what it was. I don't think we're seeing a new top for a good amount of time. It's still possible, right? I'm just not in a big rush for it. And to be honest, it doesn't matter to me. And I think a lot of people don't understand that because they just don't have a balanced approach to the game. Watch my portfolio management video and you'll see why I don't care, because I'm always trimming, I'm always adding, I'm always trimming, and as I'm trimming more and more and more as we go up and up, I'm starting to favor more trimming than more adding, and that's the whole point of the game. So I took a majority of my profits out of this bull run. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Like I said, go back and watch the portfolio management video. You'll understand, and you'll learn more for next time. Watch the Trading Psychology Part 1 video. You'll understand a lot more about how I've developed, this sort of view and psychology, psychological perspective on the game. And like I said, I've been in the game trading for about 5 or so years now. I'm not going to pretend some type of genius or I'm the end all of anything like that. But hey, I pretty much called the whole thing to a T, so it is what it is. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. And good luck to the markets. Good luck to all of you. Hope everyone, at the end of the day, hope everyone just, as long as you're healthy, you got your family and stuff, we can make this money back. But hopefully, you already took a lot of profits and you got a lot already from, just your own, lion amongst sheep attitude. And hopefully I helped you along the way. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you later.